I would say the technology is kind of being used in two distinct ways, two different phases. So first we have the classroom technology, which includes a microphone and a camera that's focused on the instructor usually. So those two tools allow the instructor to zoom themselves out to the remote students. And then on top of that, a lot of instructors are given iPads. So the iPads allow the instructor to connect with the remote students and the in-person students. So they might join the Zoom, or they might use some kind of software like Nearpod to interact with all of their students at once. So it really gives some flexibility and some mobility for our instructors.
I definitely think that the improvements that we have made in the classrooms have been an asset, making sure that we have better microphones available, having multiple screens to be able to use has really been beneficial. I feel like I can ensure then that I'm paying attention to both the online student and the in-person student simultaneously. Now that we've added this new technology into the classroom, better microphones, better cameras, it does make the experience, I think, a bit more personable for the online student, and certainly better quality.
In terms of technology, it's okay to keep it simple. For example, I still teach as if I'm just kind of writing on an empty whiteboard. The only difference is I'm doing it on a device rather than up on there. And actually now I have my face facing towards the students rather than kind of having my back to them. So again, I'm staying more engaged. So in many ways, you don't have to change a lot to actually be able to make yourself more accessible.
I oftentimes will log in to Zoom as myself, and then again as myself, but using my iPad, so that I can use the iPad as a whiteboard. And what I found is that if I share my screen via my iPad, then everybody can see it clearly. I don't have to worry about the color of the ink or whether or not Zoom participants can read the board, because everything is being displayed on the screen. I use Canvas extensively. I've always used Canvas, but in Face-to-Face Plus, I use it even more. It's where all of the students are logging in and seeing the same thing. Whether you're on Zoom or you're in a classroom, you can log on to Canvas and you can access the files and the assignments, and they're all laid out. But one thing that I found is that I could time during a class period when particular portions of the activity that they were doing that day would open. So if I didn't want the Zoom participants going ahead and diving into the work or rushing through one part thinking that they can get done earlier, I put very clear expectations about how much time they needed to spend, and they could see when the next one would open. And it kept the Zoom participants working on the same material as the in-person, in-classroom participants.
I've played around now with technology that allows me to see my students engaging in real time. So there's software like Nearpod, where I can make an interactive presentation and not only see, even if the cameras are all off, I can see that students are participating in the activity, but I can see in real time what they're typing in, what they are drawing on the screen. And that's something that allows me to, one, make sure everybody's actively engaged all the time, but it also lets me address misconceptions right away. I can see it before anybody else sees it in a way that I couldn't by just circulating around a classroom. Being able to see my students working in real time, that's my guarantee that they're actively engaged, but it also does more for me as an educator than if I just said, everybody do this, and I noticed that everybody was writing something on a sheet of paper from a distance. And that's going to translate into every course that I teach.